Morning everybody, I want to invite you into my mara today, into my garden, and at my property I have a 1/4 acre and I'm on the verge of a ngahere, of a forest, and so a lot of native plants are self-seeded by the birds, by the wind. They're self-seeded on this property. I allow them to grow, I invite them to grow, and what I'm doing here is I'm doing in a food forest, and I'm threading the food in with the native trees and plants. And just in saying that, our native trees, they've got many native plants, have got many edible berries, edible fruit and flowers and leaves. A lot of it I use for rongoā in my clinic, and so it's just threading edible food like blueberries and grapes and lemon trees in with the native plants here. It's been an exciting journey doing that. I still have a long way to go, but I thought I would invite you in just to show you what I've done so far. New Zealand, we're coming into spring, so everything is bursting, everything is dynamic, everything is coming to life. So everybody loves their garden during the springtime. And I just wanted to show you that in this whare, in this property, there's so many different climates. Like every corner of the house is a different climate, so it requires a different way of working in it and different plants that go into that area. And each area that has a different climate, it has a different mauri, so it requires different energy, and also that mauri of that particular area can have a shift on yourself as well. So there's particular spaces around this whare that I like to be in, depending on where my mauri is, my energy, my life force. So this is one of the gardens that I talk about that has a different climate, and how I planted in this garden was the first plant that was here that was self-seeded, that was always here, is the one right here, the mingimingi, soft mingimingi. And that was here, and it's well established and it's doing really well. Now this rongoā is a rongoā for the lungs, it's for coughs and colds, it opens the airways of the lungs. It's a really powerful rongoā. But we'll go into more detail about this rongoā at another time. I just want to show you what's in front of me, which is the kūmarahou. You can see the golden buds starting to come into bloom, and they are a beautiful golden yellow, lime yellow. It's just incredible. These like to grow in clay, and you usually see them on the side of the road. They seem to like clay banks, and so does mingimingi. So when I saw that mingimingi was growing in this garden, I knew that I could put some companion plants with it, like kūmarahou, like koromiko, like karamu, like karo. Karo grows naturally here, so does matipo, and also the tikoka grows naturally here, the cabbage tree. But we will go over all of those plants at some stage. I just wanted to show you the different climates of this particular plant and how I do companion planting with native plants. My dogs want to come out with me. So now let's go and have a look at Poroporo. Okay, so this plant here is Poroporo, and I wanted to talk about this plant because, first of all, because of the way that it's growing. So here's its trunk over here, and I planted this one. I planted it, and she's really, really happy where she is. The only thing is that she's been competing for light, so she's started to grow horizontally. But she's got little shoots coming up, so it's going to be a huge bushy shrub. But I wanted to talk about Poroporo because it's a really beautiful rongoa, beautiful plant, and I've loved it for so long. And I think what I love about it is because when you look at its leaves, they look like claws or fingers, but they're so lush. And they feel like they've got so much rongoa inside the leaves, and for me, I can sense that the mauri, it's got some really rich, potent rongoa in it, and there's a lot of history behind this plant as a rongoa in the 1970s and 1980s. This was cultivated and sent overseas as a natural contraception. Contraception. It has compounds in it that I think it's called, it's got a compound in it called Solanum. So it was cultivated and sent overseas, and it went into decline. For whatever reason, perhaps it was over harvested, who knows, but it went into decline, and I think recently it is, the status of it now is that it's threatened, and I haven't seen this plant growing. I've only seen it in 2 other places in the last 10 years that I've been walking into bush. And so growing this profusely, it's loving it here. We make this into a rongoa. We make it into a balm because it's got a natural steroid. It's got a natural steroid in it, and it's good for inflammation. So it was used traditionally for, inflammation, for pain relief, for swollen joints. It was used as a compress, or the juice, the plant was boiled and the liquid was just placed over the body, or however the plants were placed on the body. But this is a poisonous plant, so I would definitely do a bit of research if you ever decide to plant this plant, because it has berries on them, and the fruit, the unripe fruit, are very, very poisonous. Not good for wahine women who are pregnant or wanting to get pregnant, or children. So just being mindful that it was used for a natural contraception in the day. Ka pai. Beautiful rongoa. Now I just have it, it's got these beautiful purple flowers that will come into bloom very shortly, so I will show you that when she starts to bloom. But I love this plant just because of the way that she looks. She's just gorgeous, and just wanted to share her rongoa with you, and because she's such a beautiful plant. This is another environment with a different climate, and so I've got hauhere growing here. So I grew this myself. How old is this? Probably about 8 years old. 8 years old. And what's happened underneath, kahikatea that have self-seeded and are going to grow into enormous rākau rangatira. So we will probably leave one here and let that grow. And what it is that with the kahikatea, knowing that this kahikatea is growing here tells me that this area is a little bit damp because it likes wet feet. It likes to grow in watery soil. And so this will be really good for the bank, to stabilise the bank, because we are on a decline here. And so I'll keep that one of those growing. And right behind you is a tōtara that has been self-seeded also. And I'm going to let that grow because it's in the corner and it will be totally protected. Now, so this one here is a karaka, and I grew this one. I'm growing these for the for the berries, for the fruit, because the fruit are delicious, and that's what I'm growing them for. So a lot of our native trees have their own fruit, have their own berries, obviously they've got rongoā, but they're a kai as well. So, and because they grow naturally here, and they don't need any attendance or assistance to grow, that's what I'm going to keep. So it's all about the native plants staying and threading in the exotic edible food plants with them. Yeah. This is whauwhaupaku, or the Pseudopanax arboreus. It's the 5-finger, and this is a beautiful rongoā. It's nice as a wairakau, as a tea as well. And this has wonderful berries for kereru, for our wood pigeons. And this year was the first time that we had succulent berries, because it's the first time we had kereru coming in to feed off these trees. And so that was such a wonderful treat. And what I love is that, yes, we get tui coming in, and we get the pi waka waka. We have a lot of the smaller native birds coming in because of the fruit and because of the native flowers. They come in and get the nectar. But the one manu, the one bird that we weren't getting, was the kereru, because we don't have large enough trees to support them. We don't have the berries that they like. And so whauwhaupaku is that rākau that is able to draw the kereru in. And to me, that is the ultimate. The ultimate when you know the type of birds that are coming into your property, that they're like the trees bring them in. But you have to have the trees to bring them in. And that takes time. If you haven't got them, it takes time to wait for them to flower and to fruit, for the kereru to come in. But when they come in, that it's like a taumata. It's like a place where you can rest and enjoy watching them. It's I don't know how to explain it. But where the whauwhaupaku are, we've got 2 rākau, where they're growing is right on our deck, where we can sit outside and enjoy the viewing outside. And this is where all the manu come in. And so we plant those plants and trees to bring them in. Around the front of our property we've got neko. We've got about 10 neko growing because of the kereru. We want to bring those those manu in. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video today. I have enjoyed taking you around our mara, showing you the plants and the trees that we're growing, and we will continue to do that if you are interested in learning about the plant medicine of the native trees. If you're interested in that, I will do more of them. I certainly love talking about them, and I certainly love being in the garden. and just that is my ultimate, to be able to pota and talk about the trees. So let me know if you want more videos like these. Ngā mihi.